And we're covering the Western Eyre Netball Association. We've got our Western Eyre Netball correspondent joining us now, Reanna Freeman. Welcome to the show, Reanna.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Now, I understand it was a pretty good first weekend in the Western Eyre Association, a couple of close games.
It was a very hot weekend. We had Wirrala taking on Westies at Wirrala. No sea breeze out at Wirrala. I believe it was a bit of a stinker for the first game, as we expect every year, and a cracking game. It certainly did not disappoint anyone that was watching this game. Wirrala, last year's premiers, taking on Westies, who did not win a game last year, and their aim this year was to work on last year, become more competitive, reduce margins and be the best version of themselves, and they most definitely succeeded. They took it right to Wirrala. Wirrala came away with a win by 8, 49-41. Emma Willis for Wirrala was their best. She played goal shooter. Spoken lots in the past about Emma Willis. She's a veteran of the game, plays goal shooter, very tall, very strong, great at rebounds. And for Westies, their best was named Abby Thomas. She also played in goals at the other end. She previously played B grade last year, so great to see her getting the opportunity in A grade this year and stepping up, and what a fabulous first game of the season.
Absolutely, what a start. Western United, really good effort there, only going down by 8 to the Premiers. I didn't realise they were winless last season, so that's a very promising start to the season, and no doubt they won't be going winless this year. And then in our other game, Thevenard 46 defeated the Hawks 44. Just when you think you can't get much closer than an 8-point contest, you've got a 2-goal difference in that one.
Absolutely. So Hawks runners-up last year in the premiership, and Sevi, I think they were nearly top all year last year. They seem to come out firing most years, and this year they most certainly did. Courtney Trowbridge, who is their coach and also goal attack, she's so reliable. She's such a playmaker in goal attack, shoots beautifully, and keeps the team in check. So they came out with a really good start. Hawks came out really well. We were up by 2 goals at quarter time, and then it was a draw at half time, and then Sevi got that 2-point lead in the third quarter and then just kept it. Again, it was quite hot and streaky, which we always expect with the first game. Shannon Johnson and Rochelle Wheaton worked in the ring really well. Rochelle was our best at goal attack. For Sevi, Cassie and Courtney Trowbridge, they work beautifully in the ring together. It's like they're at home, and then up the other end you've got Lindsay Denton and Nikki Sleet working in defence. They're always outstanding together as well. Lindsay was their best. She played goalkeeper, goal defence. We've only played B grade last year, sort of just giving the body a bit of a rest, and she's back as fit as ever, and made a huge impact in their game. So Sevi would be very happy with that 2-point win to get them off to the start of the season.
Wirrala and Thevenard, your round 1 winners, and good to hear a couple of last year's B graders stepping up into the A grade and having some early impact. Sejuna Blues had the bye in round 1, and in round 2 they'll be hosting Thevenard for their first game. So how do you see that one going? Can they keep up with Thevenard, or will Thevenard get off to a bit of a win streak to start the season?
I think Sevi have sort of got their main 8 and they're quite settled in their team. I think Blues have got a squad of 9. I'm not sure whether they're running with 9 the whole year or not. That will give them some flexibility to make changes when they need to. Blues have got a great lineup. Casey Grenfell, she plays either end but is a beautiful defender. Holly Woods plays everywhere. Taylor Collins can play virtually anywhere on the court. They've got Hayley Clayton back from having a baby this year. They've got Talene Ettridge. She's moved back to Sejuna. She's lining up in the A grade as well. So Blues are lining up with some fabulous players. Sevi are a well-oiled machine in that they've got a few combinations that work really well. As I said, Courtney and Cassie in goals and Nikki and Lindsay in defence. I think they'll work out their med-core as the season goes on. Tracy Miller played wing attack last week, so it'll be interesting to see whether she stays at wing attack or goes into goals. But either way, I think this will be another really good game. Because we haven't seen how Blues have lined up and how they've performed for the year, I think we'd be mad not to tip Sevi, but I really think it could go either way.
Sounds very good. And Wirrala have the bye, so our other game this weekend at Penong will be Western United Tigers taking on the Hawks. Both narrowly on the wrong end of close games last week. Which one is going to get on the winners list this week?
Well, I'd like to say Hawks, being that I'm a Hawks girl and the Hawks coach, but I actually think this will be a really hard game. Nakia Skinner, who's been playing wing attack for Westie, she's away this year at uni, so they'll replace her in their team. Durrani Hofrichter played a bit of goal attack, a bit of goal shooter last week. She's very tall, great under the ring, and when she gets her eye in, she's pretty hard to stop shooting-wise. Chloe Ettridge is a fabulous defender. Coached her a couple of years in Association A grade. I'm a huge fan of hers. Her work rate is really high. So it's definitely going to raise a few challenges for Hawks. We'll have Shannon and Rochelle back in goals together this week. So 2 weeks in a row, these girls will settle and I think play really well. We've got Hannah Chnowth back this week. She'll line up in defence with Alana Beard. And we've got young Summer Braz back in the centre. And Nissa and Kobe Freeman through the centre. So I actually think Hawks has probably got a few unexperienced players mixed with some really experienced players. So we might take a little bit to find our feet. Westies have been training really hard. I think this will be a really tough match. I obviously believe in our girls and would be stupid to tip against ourselves, but I think Westies will be a hard game.
Well, it's good to hear that Westies are on the come-up and they'll be providing a good challenge for you and your girls this weekend. So that's our round 2 fixture. Now, I understand there's a little bit more news going on around the league. Would you like to fill us in on the other headlines?
So we've got association trials happening this Sunday, which is always an exciting time of the year. Lots of girls registered all the way from A grades, 17s, 15s and 13s. So always an exciting time of the year when the girls come out and put their best foot forward and try and make the association team. So best of luck to those girls and thank you to all the volunteers that go ahead and put that day together. We've also had 3 Western Eyre girls represent us in the Thunderbirds Academy this year, which will take place in Wales for training during the year. That's Tiziana Peel from Wirrallah, Jordan Tonkin from Blues and Kobe Freeman from Hawks. And I think it's got to be mentioned that this weekend we play our Anzac Day round. It's always a special game to be played and is always taken with a lot of honour to hit the court. I believe that when Westies take on Hawks up at Penong, we're going to have our Anzac ceremony just straight after the B grade football on the Oval, and I believe the other game will be the same. So a really good opportunity for everybody to stand on their feet and pay respect for those that served our country. So a great weekend of sport and a great time to look back and reflect.
Very good. Sounds like it's going to be a great weekend of netball, and it sounds like there's a lot of promising things going on all around the league, which we love to hear. Reanna Freeman, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to chatting with you again next week. Enjoy the netball this weekend.
Thank you very much for having me, and best of luck to all teams playing.